Hi folks, Dan the Wolfman here. Yesterday I put out a video on 30 super carry sucks. And it's absolutely awesome only in the right platforms. So if it's in the wrong platform, 30 super carry is going to suck. And if it's in the right platform, it's kind of cool. You need to check out that video when you're done with this. This video is on Federal's sort of misleading, possibly question mark marketing, false or misleading anyway, marketing a little bit and kind of incorrect marketing, the right way this round should be marketed, and how it's eventually going to need to be downloaded to fill more of a niche, etc. So Federal's website on ballistics now. I'm going to talk ballistics and tell you some things I've crunched with the numbers and realized, and why the marketing's a little, and stuff other YouTubers haven't figured out, haven't pointed out. So please bear with me. From Federal's website, if you go to Federal Premium, whatever it is today, you will find it's the main thing, and then go to the information there, the graphic, and then more information down below. Ballistically, FBI Bear Gel says the 30 Super does 12 inches of penetration, 59 expansion. Says the 124 HST does 13.1 penetration, 65 expansion. FBI Heavy Clothing, they're claiming the 30 Super Carry does 15.5 inches of penetration. By putting FBI in front of that heavy clothing, this would signify this is FBI protocol real gel testing and not clear gel. I question that. Hopefully that is the case. If that is the case, this is a great deep penetrating round. 15.5 inches, 53 expansion. Heavy clothing is what matters, even if people aren't dressed like Jay Leno, because the skin and the organs are tough and people don't realize it. That's what real bullets look like recovered from bodies, is always the 4-layer clothing testing. That's what matters. Not that they're wearing 4 layers of denim. They have some clothing on, skin, tissue, organs, all different and hard on bullets to expand and all that. So 124 HST, only 14.5 inches, 57. A little more expansion, 1 inch less penetration. Interesting numbers, but I question where these are coming from, because Vista's own law enforcement data shows differently. However, let's go over that. The Vista Outdoors LE site publishes the 124 grain HST at 1150 feet per second as Bear Gel 11 inches penetration, whopping 88 expansion. Heavy clothing 12 inches, 59. Again, heavy clothing is really what matters, folks. 12 inches, 59. Federal's marketing is acting like plus P doesn't exist. They're comparing a 50,000 PSI, which is really high, cartridge, that's a 327 ACP Magnum, 8mm Magnum cartridge. It's a Magnum cartridge, high pressure, versus standard pressure 9mm, 35,000 PSI. That's a big difference. They're acting like plus P doesn't matter in their literature. Plus P in Vista's real gel data is 10 inches Bear Gel, 87 expansion, 1200 feet per second from a 4-inch Glock barrel, polygonal barrel, 13 inches penetration, 61. I think the 124 plus P, I carry it in a lot of different pistols. That is the gold standard in 9mm ammunition, is 124 plus P HST in mine and other really good people's opinions. Other people's minds. So, because of the great penetration and expansion. So, if that's their official site, Vista Outdoors, that I really support and think they're best at, if you look at my ammo selection videos, 380, 9mm, top 5+1 ammo selection, Vista owns 5 out of 6 nowadays. So that's really, really good, okay? But I question, where is their data coming from? If their own data is saying, at that feet per second, 1150, if their own data is saying heavy clothing 12 inches, 59, how are they getting 14.5 and 57? Is this really FBI real gel protocol, or did they use clear gel, which would be dishonest? And it's important to know that. Or is TN Outdoors 9, wonderful YouTuber, has just kind of come back after a few years. Tennessee Outdoors 9 has pointed out that it looks like HSTs, the profiles have been changing. The profiles modern are different. They are expanding up to 20% less in his testing and penetrating deeper. That might be very good as they market HST more to law enforcement. Seems like a lot of law enforcement's doing whatever they can get, whether it's gold dots was the gold standard before, or HST now, and maybe making it better at penetration through sidearm shots and, for barrier penetration. So perhaps this is good news by Federal that their 9mm are going so deep. That's a very good thing, and that has plagued 9mm a long time. Not from frontal shots, guys, but going through arms sideways at an angle, up, down, three-dimensionally, that's what matters. Miami shootout. Okay, so the numbers are interesting, but the numbers are more interesting as I know that that is what they're claiming is super carry at 1,250 feet per second. Guess what? That is from their 5-inch barrel. So this ballistic data they're putting out is their 5-inch data from a Nighthawk, not 3.1 inch, not 4 inch. It's 5-inch data compared to 4-inch Glock polygonal velocity in the past. In regular barrels, it's always about 35 feet per second less. Okay. So it's apples to oranges. It's 5 inches of a magnum load versus 4 inches of a standard pressure load, not the plus P. And it's not 4 inch versus 4 inch. You seeing what's going on here? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying the marketing's a little tricky and it should actually be marketed in a better way. I'll tell you what's good at if you stay put. So they're claiming 1,205 feet per second from a 3.1 inch shield barrel. That would only be 322 foot-pounds. Versus the 364 of a standard pressure 9mm 124 versus I didn't get the foot-pounds of the plus P, but the plus P at 1,200 feet per second, even higher, obviously. So it just seems like the marketing is a little weird. That's the super carry from a 5-inch, the 124 1150 from a 4-inch. 124 plus P is 1,200 feet per second from a 4-inch Glock barrel, old polygonal barrels. So where are they getting this data? Is it new HST, harder anatomy, harder lead, expanding less, getting deeper penetration? That's awesome, but let's update Vista Outdoors LE website, please. People would like to know these things and things like that. So is it just as good as a 9mm? No, it's never going to expand just as good as a 9mm. The starting diameter, the expansion. If it's claiming 53, that's really good, but that's from a 5-inch. So what does it really do? Is it going to do 1205 from a 3.1-inch barrel? No, it's probably going to do 1190s. That's high. It's a high velocity, very efficient cartridge. And if it gets that deep a penetration, it's highly efficient, high velocity, short barrel round that gets deep penetration. That's how it should be marketed. It's also very flat shooting with very low bullet drop. They're claiming only 0.6 inches at 50 yards versus like 1.8 to 2 inches a 9mm. So if you want a single action, long shooting pistol, like I said, maybe the SA-35 Springfield Armory, instead of 15 round McCar magazines, you make them 18 rounds. I could see that being good for people that like very accurate, it's supposedly a very accurate cartridge, and long range flat shooting. Mostly, this is a highly efficient short barrel round, but it's very high pressure. As I said in my other video, it'll probably do really good in the Shield Plus, because the Shield Plus really isn't a micro like the others are, P365, Hellcat, GX4, and Max 9. Okay, I have a Max 9, a video unboxing, I love it. Pushing 50,000 PSI out of a Shield Plus, that's a lot to ask. Could it do it? Yes. Is it going to cause faster wear and tear? Yes. It's like when 40 came around and most of the 9mm pistols were really just barrel swaps into 40. They really couldn't handle it, and law enforcement had to turn them all in eventually because it beat up the pistols. Except for the pistols that were designed for it, like a USP or a P229. But most of the pistols were just beefed up 9mm with no real changes made. That's what you're going to see, even in a Shield Plus. Let alone if you start packing them into a Max 9, LC9, maybe that could handle a little bit better if it was beefed up. If you start putting it in the other micros, you're going to see some blowups, okay? If an overpressure charge happens, which is 130% of 50,000 PSI, so whoa, that's really high. Even if they proof test a couple of them, you're going to get some blown up guns. You're going to get some injured people, more than likely, and it's going to cause problems. Will it be efficient in the Shield Plus? Yes, because it's not really a micro, as I said. That and RX Delta are kind of smaller than regular compact pistols, thinner, lighter, but they're heavier and taller than the other micros. Okay, so it's not a pocket gun, unless you're a really big boy. Will it be awesome, and is it energy efficient in the shield? Yes, well, now I'm going to give you some shield numbers. Because if you compare it to the 124 HST standard pressure as they're doing, Ammo to Go did ballistics testing from a 3.1 inch shield barrel. They got 1,054 feet per second. 18.46 inches of penetration. That's clear gel. And no, clear gel is not real gel. I have videos explaining that 9mm vs 45 series you should look at. Clear gel makes you think that smaller diameter bullets go way farther than they do in real world in real gel, and they expand more. Okay. So they make that seem better, like the cartridges aren't as different as they really are. They really are in the caliber debate. So 1,054 feet per second from that shield barrel is 306 foot-pounds. If Federal, and I kind of believe them on this, not 1205, they'll probably get 1190s. That's really efficient. That's fast from a short barrel. So it's 124 grain in 9mm, 306 foot-pounds at 1,054 feet per second versus 100 grain HST 30 super carry at 1190s, 1205 feet per second. At 1205, that's 322 foot-pounds. So 322 is above 306. It's a more efficient cartridge because it's like a 327 Federal Magnum is very efficient from those short-barreled LCRs. It's a short-barrel efficient cartridge that happens to be very deep penetrating, if that's real, Joe, and if it's true, and I do basically believe him on that because of smaller diameter with a higher sectional density, longer bullet. Okay, so it will be a very good deep penetrator. But the marketing is a little weird. It should be marketed as a highly efficient, short-barreled, deep penetrating round. It will be good in the shield. It won't be good in the other micros like everybody's thinking. It will not be. And boy, those guns are going to be going back to repair when everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Though there's not enough metal, there's not enough mass, unless they really engineer and beef them up, and then they're not quite the same in the other micros. Maybe the Hellcat, because I think it has a pretty thick barrel and chamber, maybe, and that's that's really the shortest tall-wise micro. So it's not really what you're thinking it is. So if it needs to be marketed that way, short barrel, highly efficient, deep penetrating round. Might be very good in the Shield Plus because the Shield Plus is right at the right level for someone with good control to snap right back down to flat shooting. I have a video on the Shield Plus. The other ones, not quite so much. Is it good in a compact pistol, in a full-size pistol? No, there's no reason for it. The velocity gain's only 45 feet per second from 3.1 to 5 inch. If you look at the velocity gain in a 9mm plus P round from 3.1 to 5 inches, it's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. So this is not efficient out of long barrels. This is efficient out of short barrels. So there's no reason you want to start carrying your M&P, your Glocks, whatever, 4-inch, 4.5-inch barrel, 5-inch barrels in this, except, as I said, maybe an SA-35 or a SIG P210. If you're a long-range, precision, accurate shooter, you're doing bullseye shooting, or you got a range like Honest Outlaw, have fun with it because it's flat shooting, little bullet drop. I could see that being awesome. The other day I mentioned cheek pistols. Probably not, because that's direct blowback, and 50K is a lot and very loud going off your face. Now, mind you, Federal's website is claiming similar recoil, flash, and report, I think. No, it's going to be louder. 50K PSI, it's going to be louder and scare new shooters, which is really the niche it should have been marketed for. So I think for this round to survive, you're going to have to do 30 super carry light. You're going to need a 30 super carry light training round and a 30 super carry light self-defense hollow point of maybe 100 grains, and drop it down about 40,000, 42,000 PSI, and drop that feet per second from 1,200 from a short barrel to 1135-ish or 1035-ish, 1050-ish. That's what you're going to need to do, is either like an 85 grain or 100 grain. They already got 100 grain bullets, back the velocity and the PSI off, or 85 grain. If you can make it so now everyone can give their girlfriend a Shield Plus that is less recoil, okay, but right now 50,000 PSI, it's even snappier. It's going to be about the same in a different way. Snappier, less pushy, but it's going to be louder. That is not good for newer, less experienced shooters, which would really be the niche for this round. Because if it's just as good as 9mm, except it's not, because the diameter is not as big, which means not as much tissue crush. It gets close and it is efficient. I kind of like the high velocity from a short barrel, because short barrel under 3.5 inch, if you look at my ammo selection videos, 9mm only HSTs, and deep, not deep, the other one, punch, do well. So thumbs up, share, subscribe, get in the comments, let me know what you think. It should be marketed the right way instead of a little bit of mismarketing, the 5 inch versus 4 inch.